I'm currently, right now, today, I am the host for HRE TV, TapTap Send HRE TV. We thank you once again for tuning in again for the second part of our edition, this wonderful topic, agriculture from soil to success. It is indeed, an eye-opener topic. So tell a friend to join in now. But before we move on, again, this program is being sponsored by TapTap Send right here on HRE TV. We are so honored and blessed to have such a wonderful organization to be part of this HRE TV family. So at this moment, we'll take a short break and then we'll return shortly. Thank you.
TapTap Send. Oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos. The only boss. With oneness, baby, I will be everywhere I day and everywhere they go. TapTap Send got me covered. If you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TapTap Send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TapTap Send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TapTap Send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, I tell the world you channel, like my view, hey, you crazy.
Download TapTap Send now on Google Play and App Store. TapTap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
We thank you once again for tuning in to TapTap Send HRE TV. Once again, I'd like to welcome you all. My name is Obaya Ejewa. I am standing in for the one and only PK Ascend. So I hope you all can hear me. Last week, we had a wonderful discussion regarding agriculture. And let me tell you, it's here for I left here empowered, feeling great, feeling like I am a farmer myself. So without further ado, before we take on the program, I'll kindly call on our sponsor, one of our directors of TapTap Send, Director A-Class. If you are here this evening, please chime in, tell us a little bit about TapTap Send, what's happening, what we need to look out for. But we thank you so much for sponsoring HRE TV once again. Let's welcome Director A-Class to the show.
Everyone for your mom and I drew about time with TapTap Send on HRE TV as well. And we are glad and happy to have you all on the show also, and those who will be listening to us on our various social media platforms. So we are really pleased. And maybe but what we can say is say abroad, I can't create not what yabo. I'm glad to say the wallets that we've been always been fighting for to come in the US and to start operating in the US and on Yakopo Daroma. They are increasing the number of people to use it at the moment. And as you already know, day in and day out, USA is a different place altogether. Every state and its regulation and also the pros and cons. So before Egusua, I'm adjusting to make sure say by the time everything flows through, then everybody will be superly ready and getting it and using it. In Zambia, they've opened the number of people who are using it. It's a work so that's all percent wallet, earlier than the normal official launch dates that everybody need to see it now. Please reach out and I will do the needful and you have access to it. And that is the Dallas wallet, international and the rate, so as you all noticed over the weekend, we were able to do better in the market. We'll continue our possible best to see our best when we go out there in the market to get the coins now. We'll also give our customers the best possible that we can. So at least maybe come and so as well. And we'll continue to urge everyone on the course, as we said some time ago, if you have any organization, a call for an ABBT, please reach out to any of the ambassadors. Someone in Worcester, Oba is in Worcester, and Jimmy is in Virginia, Lady Smart is in Philly, Cosby and Auntie Christie, Ewa Chicago, PK, and also Dorothy in Ohio, and also we've got them scattered all over. So, and also Auntie Ella, I've forgotten the state Ella, but there are a lot of them who are always on the call here, and please, you can reach out and will be of great help to you as well. It is so far so good, and we say very soon, as we said it, the wallet will spread over to everyone in the USA and Canada as well. But for the time being, they are opening up. So if you are interested, please let us know, and we'll take it from there. And with the wallet, as we keep on saying it, and some of the benefits, maybe I said, like you send money and a young could do, yeah, quickly you can get an instant refund into your wallet, and that will solve a whole lot of issues here and there as well. So, and you want to plan and save and budget, so it's a good spot that you can use as well. So, not saying that, we'll call upon our Oba to take it from there whilst we wait patiently for our guests. Unfortunately today, time in a big time. We all thought it was in an hour's time, and I just came back from London from my rounds over the weekend. That I don't have to even draw my attention to Masa. Are you not joining? I'm joining what? I got 1 hour. And I said, no, my friend, join right now. And I was, how? I got 1 hour. Later on, it came to the click, say, USA for Master Summer time. So it's 6 p.m. at your place now. So, maybe our guest might delay a little bit today because of the time change up now. It took us unaware. If we knew, I would have inserted the correct one on the fly and also. So please forgive us, but he will be here very soon and take us through the stages and everything as well. So over to you, and
thank you for that, A-Class. I really appreciate it. Yes, we got really this time changing, dear. The US have to do something about it. It really took me off guard as well. And without further ado, Atiafo, accept our apologies, but we will definitely continue. But in the meanwhile, since being sponsored by TapTap Send, I believe we may have some of our reps here on the line. If they are available, I would love to hear their voice. Somebody gives us a gist of what we do as reps in the States, what we do. There's so many things that we do. We serve as customer service. We are the face of TapTap Send. If someone needs help, someone needs assistance, instead of calling the 800 numbers that most of these apps have, you can easily have access to us as agents, as reps. I say I am an ambassador or proud, one of the ambassadors of TapTap Send. I am locally, like A-Class said, I am based in Worcester, Massachusetts. So the whole of New England, if you are tuning in, if you are listening, if you have any questions, concerns regarding TapTap Send, you can definitely reach out to me. Now, A-Class had mentioned the wallet system. A-Class, I'm not sure if everybody here understands what the wallet system means. If you can kind of elaborate on the wallet system, please.
So, thank you very much, Oba. And once again, thank you very much, everyone. The wallet system, what it means and what it stands for, and it's one, when it came to the UK here, why very, very well, and we can say very, very well. In what ways? One, it helped me to plan, budget, and also putting a little bit in there. And what do I mean by that? So let's say, for instance, I have my salary at the end of the month now. Now I need to send money back home. I don't need to let the money stay in my bank account, because at the end of the day, I know how much I need to send and the dates that I need to send them. So I quickly move the money straight to the wallet, So if it's in the wallet now, me this kind of account, me infra. At least I know that's and I choose it helped me to also say, okay, fine. This is how much I want to spend at the end of the month when it comes to sending money back home. So the money that is my wallet is what I need to send. I won't send any more than that. In terms of what if you're also my also to me the planning how you want to send and stuff here and there. Into the wallet is a game changer and helps in so many ways. And these are some of the few things a bit me abwa wo enemy or who a bit me ama tumpo e so pa. It's when you talk about a wallet now, that's a little bit that I can say on that aspect. And no.
So wallet system, no, it means that if I send money to Ghana, necessary Kano does not go. Does the money go back into the wallet system or does it go into my card?
Okay, so let's say for instance, and that's one of the good news, and thank you very much about. So let's say if you are sending money to Ghana, and now with this kind of control wallet, you now they send this kind of. Let's say for any reasons, cannot enter me and go through a straight away. It's kind of a talk or way to move back, or wallet to move back. Within that same second, we know it already. The doom saw or the light out, let me put it, the light out, technical issues here and there. It happens everywhere. When it comes to network, anything can happen. No one have control over the light when there's an issue with it. It's when there's a technical issues at a light station and be better sana. A bit off, a call for all those people that send money during that time, piano, almost can be feel. Unless the company have got a standby generator that operates within a millisecond of going off. Then with that one, a bit trigger, a power up. But there'll be some slight issues. So those people, that money will get filled, piano, straight away, you know, it will just come back to your wallet, you know. Then you can do it again. And also, you know, aside that, you know, let's say for instance, once a day, and you want to and also call off. You use your normal way of sending it, right? You took the money from one gas or bank card, you know, and I just send it here. And also a fairly. So in UK here, there's a window that it normally gives us. So the small thing will come up. You want the reverser to go to your wallet or to go to your bank card and so. So if you click on the wallet, bam, now Baby required amount. So these are some of the benefits that when it comes to the wallet now, you get using the wallet system.
So someone just texted says, so I'll send it if they're sending and the rate is high and somehow all of a sudden it changes, the rate changes. When they are about to resend out, would they get the old rates unless it's the current rate that they need to send in?
That is a nice one. And one of my favorite customers met me outside at church and Odigumi Sokakra said, maybe I or sending sika amount now or sending on a call and a swatting into the bufu. When you saw up, no. Lucky enough, when I met her and she was complaining again, I said, "Man, but let me have a look at your app, no." And when I have the look at the app, no, and I be able, and I'm who say, or try first one, a coin. Second one was it was the same amount. So the system will full say a mistake in a right and why. Lucky for her, it didn't go, right? But unfortunate for her, some now, or yes, was answering BM, right? Then it went through. Into a try or send a code through. Certainly, yeah, rate changes, no. Internet a swat rate and swat that time, no. But whatever you see as of when you are sending, no, is exactly what you get. But because she sent a £50 earlier on, and she sent another £50 one, she feels that I should get the same amount I may send in the first, you know. Then net a swati into the bufu. Now guys a man but as so no me to asio me di to mo back a course so after I started they get it. So when a rate change counts now, you need control of the change of the rate, you know. And if I say I'm find a course will laugh, but for my nature, it will be a more packet and it me to be packet so that's why I'm packet but we'll please say will plead for pardon someone better on that aspect. Oh.
Thank you so much for that clarification, Nija. Yes, ticket to be in so once penny cry, peswa, we cry now. Our people, are a bit on edge. So thank you so much for that clarification. If we do have some of our reps here tonight, I would love to hear their voice and give an in-depth of what we do as reps. It's here for if you have tuned in tonight for the agricultural segment, we want to extend our apologies to you. Time difference, is affecting us a bit, but Mr. Samuel Adedakon will shortly be joining us in a moment. So please be patient with us as we gather things together and prepare for him to join us tonight. So if we have some of our ambassadors here tonight, please, if you don't mind unmuting, give us a bit about your background and how we do our TapTap Send ambassadorial role. Uncle Jimmy, if you are there, Auntie Christy, Lady Smart, Sister Dorothy, Ella, and everybody else. Forgive me. PK, if you are also here, you can kindly share. So as ambassadors, what we usually do is we go out into the community. Like I said, we are the faces of the app. We are a member of the community. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns in the middle of the transaction, there's some kind of a mishap, you definitely can reach out to any of us. Me and Meka say I am active in the New England region, whereby by way of Worcester, Massachusetts. If you're also in Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, I am your rep. It doesn't even matter where you're at. You can call any one of us. If you have access to us, you can definitely give us a call. And if you are here for the very first time as a TapTap Send, listener, please, we are giving you $15 free towards your first transaction when you sign on to the app. So if you are not using the app now, we just aren't just an ordinary mobile money transfer app. There are so many grassroots organizations that we support all throughout, when you're using this app. We have the Heal Comfort. We have Dambe. I believe PK wants to also chime in if he's here.
Yes, about sorry or not, I couldn't unmute myself because it's I wasn't the host anymore. It was hosted my lord into no. I couldn't unmute myself and just speak. But I want to say I heard you call me, but because of how our security function is right now, we have to be tough with the muting and unmuting. But anyways, I want to say big thanks to our viewers and listeners. Some people are at work, so they cannot really watch the show, so they are listening. I want to say big thanks to all of them, and big thanks to those that are also watching and everything. One more Facebook, YouTube, both TapTap and Ghana and HITV, and those of you using TapTap and all. About you've said it all. I think the A-Class came to also talk about the new your friend say development now Airbus, I don't know. So I want to say big thanks to you guys all for the great stuff that you guys are doing, and also let's keep pushing TapTap and to the highest way.
Thank you so much. Yes, just like PK said, we are live on Zoom, YouTube, as well as Facebook. So even after the show, you want to go back and get a recap of what transpired tonight on tonight's show, you can definitely tune in on all these various platforms and rewatch the show. And as I was saying, as ambassadors, we go out in the community. We are the faces. We give back to the community. We have Heal or Comfort. We have Gandambe. And I believe one more. If you go onto the app, you'll see all the charitable work that we do in support of these charities. So if you're giving to or sending someone, your loved ones, money back home, these are some charities that you can also donate to. I'm not sure, A-Class, if you want to talk a little bit more about these various organizations, that would be grateful. That would be helpful to some of our listeners if they want to give back to the work that our brothers and sisters are doing so well of in Ghana.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Oba. At the moment, as Oba said, we have Heal or Comfort on the app, so and what they do is they try to remake the Comfort Hospital they need a certain set of money to be able to lift the place up to the states are open because from the time now it was done, everything there has not been any renovation done to the place. So Juma and if you see some of the changes in plan now, wow, you can see say yes, they've done a lot of work on it. And two so Gamma Chediano. So Gamma Chediano is trying to do an educational center, helping the less privileges in the society, getting them some kind of educational materials and also IT centers and the rest, for the young ones who are out there who want to get themselves at least on the. This is not for Nkran for more Ukraine. So people who are from the north, who are from the Cape Coast, who are from everywhere, who lives in that area, benefits out of it. So I can say you will never know where who be. So at least it's always good. At least let's support so that anyone of that sort can also benefit greatly from that aspect as well. And I will have the Funland Smile as well. Funland Smile is a lady and a father who lives in Cochrane to me. And then also they helping the less privileged as well. Those people, if you know Cochrane to me, in that area is a bit of a kakra into farming and the rest and it's at least more between a foam, they're not almost so I actual so they take care of those case, bring them under a shelter, sort them out in terms of giving them basic education as far as they can, and also trying to make sure that they get something to eat as well. And these are some of the things that side and they've been doing that for quite a time now. And if you go on the app now, you can click on any of these three charities, any of them, and you can make a direct donation to them, as well. And today say, no. And when you make the donation now, it goes straight to a bank account. It goes straight to their bank account. So it doesn't stay on our end here or whatever. It goes straight to our bank account. And make sure say the blessings will flow for your end as well. So in today's so far so good. These are a bit of the charities your system so for now. And just to add this to it, we are open to any other person who thinks they want to be on the charity app also. So if you are that's also say of a charity organization that is well versed in the system and people know it and they are, let me quote unquote that's not a problem. Contact us, we'll give you a link that they need to fill. And once they fill that and pass our how do you call it, compliance stages now, then they'll be enrolled onto the app for them to keep it moving from there as well. I also say if anybody have got any questions and stuff here and there, please do not hesitate. Kindly ask your questions and we are here to see our best we can assist as well. And we can take it from that point. You can raise up your hand, then we can simply unmute you, then you can ask your questions as well.
Thank you so much, A-Class. It's here for, just like you heard from A-Class, if you are interested in being part of this charitable organizations that we have on our platform, don't hesitate. But now that you've heard a few things about TapTap Send, what we do to give back to the community and to even support our own people, what questions do you have for us? I know most of the time we keep these questions for the end of the show. Unfortunately, our guest of honor, Samuel Adedako, unfortunately, we were not able to inform him of the changes in time here in the USA. So when spring comes, we spring forward, the time move forward. When the fall comes, we move backwards, we fall backwards. So, and not delaying, but please, we have a wonderful show for you today. Again, like I said, it's all about agriculture from soil to success. But right now, we're being sponsored by TapTap Send. We're going to be taking some questions from our listeners. If you have any questions regarding TapTap Send, regarding the new wallet system, regarding any of these charitable events that we do support, please raise your hands. Don't hesitate. But in the meanwhile, if we have some of, I believe, Dr. Reverend, if we can unmute Dr. Reverend Michael in Chroma has his hands raised. If we can unmute him, he can ask this question, please and thank you.
Thank you very much. Greetings to everyone that is on this platform. I'm happy to join in today. Today is my first time joining. My question is, if you want to send money from Ghana through TapTap send to USA, if it is available, and also how much is the limit amount that you can send from Ghana to US dollars in US? Yeah, that's my question.
Thank you so much, Doc. Please, can you tell me what state or where you're calling from, please? Okay. A-class, if you don't mind answering, Reverend Dr. Michael.
Reverend, I'll plead with you. Sorry for there was calls coming in. If you guys noticed that my phone's ringing whilst I was even talking, it was an urgent one. And I just want to find out, is he trying to say his question? Was he trying to relate that for sending money from Ghana to USA? Or
yes. Since we're initiating this wallet system, is it possible to send money from Ghana to the US? If so, what's the limit? And yeah, that's what he wants to know. And he's calling from Pennsylvania. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much, Doc. At the moment, the wallet, and the TapTap Send system on its own, you can't send money from Ghana to USA or UK or Europe or wherever it is at the moment. We don't have the license to do that, but the wallet is within the country of where it is. So if you can use the wallet, it will be within the USA. So you put money into that wallet and you can send from the wallet to Ghana. And as it is, very soon we'll be having the wallet to wallet. And that one, doctor, you can send me some coins to my wallet as well, or I can send you some notes on your wallet as well. So that is how it's going to operate. But for the time being, it will be the wallet for you to save. Then afterward, it will be the wallet for you to send money among yourself in a state. Then later on, as it goes on and everything is okay now, then we'll open it up. Then me and UK, I can send you money in USA through the wallet, And at the moment, the wallet can hold at £5,000. So I'm presuming that it's the same $5,000 that the wallet can hold in your country when it's been launched fully to everyone.
I hope that answered your questions, Reverend. Any more questions regarding TapTap Send, please? If you have any questions regarding TapTap Send, kindly raise your hands. And then let's move on. Our guest of honor will shortly be joining us. Do we have any more questions regarding the TapTap Send app? Okay, if we don't, we'll take a short break, and then hopefully, I hope we have our ambassadors here tonight. I believe our guest of honor is also ready to join us. So without further ado, let's take a quick short break. At T4, we'll be right back. Thank you.
TapTap Send. Oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos. The only boss. With oneness, baby, I will be everywhere I day and everywhere I go. TapTap Send got me covered. Therefore, if you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TapTap Send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TapTap Send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TapTap Send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, the other time I would channel, like my view, no, hey, you crazy.
Download TapTap Send now on Google Play and App Store. TapTap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Okay, welcome once again to TapTap Send, HRETV. My name is Obaya Ejewa. Again, from soil to success, today is the topic of our show, part 2 from last week. We are honored to have the one and only Samuel Adedakon, who is the CEO of Curtis Agri Limited and Asanka Premium Food Limited. Let's give him a warm welcome, and please take your pen and paper, get ready to take notes and consume all this knowledge. By the time you leave here, I guarantee you'll be starting your own agriculture farming in Ghana. Let's welcome our dear friend Samuel to the show. Welcome, Samuel. Okay. I hope there's no doomsaw in Ghana. All right, we're just waiting briefly for him. I believe he's getting his things ready so we can begin the show. All right, while we wait for him, do we have any of the ambassadors here tonight? If you are here, please kindly unmute and introduce yourself. Uncle Jimmy, Auntie Christy, Miss Sister Dorothy, of course, Lady Smart, and the rest. If you are here tonight, please introduce yourself, unmute, and let's get this program on the roll.
And also, for Macho, who Hannah said, you want to contribute words and also say one or two. Please, you can raise up your hand and we'll just unmute you. Then you can just talk by. And to the ambassadors, you are muted, so you can just unmute yourself from the other side, then take it from there. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Director.
You can share your experience, your any positive motivation thing, please, you can bring it up. Then whilst we're waiting for our dear brother.
All right, today, dear, is going to be a wonderful PowerPoint presentation from Samuel Dacon. Again, he is very knowledgeable in this agricultural farming. Last week, I got the chance to learn about aggregation farming, poultry farming, even crops. Today, he's going to be talking about, I think greenhouse he mentioned. He has some wonderful PowerPoints. So again, I believe our guest of honor is ready to join us onto the show. Let's give a warm welcome.
Okay. To
Samuel Adedakon. Hello, our dear friend Samuel. How are you tonight? Sam, can you hear us?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Samuel. Samuel Adedakon.
No, I'm Samuel Mensah Sapon. No,
oh, okay, wow, 2 Samuels, wonderful. We'll call you Mr. Samuel number 2. We'll give you a call, Mr. Samuel Mensah Sapon. We'll give you a call shortly. We're just calling in our guest of honor tonight to join us on the show. Samuel Dacon, are you on the show?
About whilst we're waiting, PK and Jimmy, I noticed they wanted to talk. They should bring it in while they should talk then whilst we wait
Yeah,
patiently for.
what I was going to say is, I mean, after last week, I think one of my friends and like me naming one of my friends, we've decided to, venture into it very, very deep into, I think say my part on the crowd will be going to Ghana soon. I just want to say the information the guy gave was great information, and most people would like to, see through that and make it happen. So the part two is definitely needed, and we are looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, PK. Thank you. Very, very impactful. All right, he needs to be unmuted. Our guest is waiting on the other end. He needs to be unmuted, please, and thank you.
Also now producer and unmuted.
Yes, Samuel Dacon, Samuel Del Dacon.
Well,
once again, so sorry. We're just waiting. The time difference has really gotten us today.
Sam, I've unmuted you. Unmute yourself, right?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
finally. Hey, so
Okay.
sorry. Well, forgive us for the time difference. We
No
got,
problem.
it could have, it really deceived all of us. So forgive us.
No problem.
Therefore, again, we're not going to waste too much time. Let's welcome our dear friend, Samuel Ade Dacon, CEO of Cactus Agric Limited and Asanka Premium Food Limited. Same, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to all viewers and listeners.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having me again, Obaya.
Oh, no problem. And then we have our pens and paper ready. We want to take notes. We know you have a nice presentation set up for us tonight. So please carry on. You can give us, a bit summary about last week's session, and then we can take it from there and move on to tonight. Are you able to hear me?
Okay. I hope my line is not breaking. Yeah, I think mine.
Yep, we can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, so I think the part one, we started with agriculture in Ghana, where we spoke about the prices of some lands in the savannah, in other regions and all that, where viewers and listeners were so excited to hear of the prices and all that. We spoke about fish farming, we spoke about crops, we've delved into poultry and all that. Today, we want to start our presentation with greenhouse farming in Ghana. I think I shared the PowerPoint presentation with you.
Yes, I believe according to the producers, I believe they will let you, or you have access to sharing the PowerPoint from your end. Would it be possible?
That would be a bit of a challenge. So if you could share for me so that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So last week we talked about, just brief me, Kakra, on the pricing on Asase. When I told people, they didn't believe me. The 500 Ghana cedis can actually purchase a farmland in Ghana. So brief us, just a summary about the price. You said 500 Ghana cedis, depending on where, about the different types of farming, whether it's poultry, pig, whichever one is lucrative. You talked about the pigs having so many babies that, right now is very popular. So just a little summary while we get this PowerPoint going.
Okay. So like we, learned last week, in the Savannah region, we have an acre of land going for 500 cedis, which was, wow to everybody because it was so cheap, like $35 for an acre of land. That's 4 plots we're talking about. And where we have lands in Brong, East Brong, Ahafo region, going for 14,000 cedis and all that. Where the most expensive land was in Ashanti region, where it was around 15,000. We have some lands in the Cape Coast area, Central region and Eastern region, going for 8,000 cedis, 9,000 cedis an acre. So we all agree that land acquisition is never a problem in Ghana. when it comes to, both crop and poultry and livestock, rearing. So we spoke about piggery, where we spoke about the fact that a pig can give birth to 12 to 15 piglets. So the problem with piggery is the structure, because you can have more than 5 piglets in one room. You would have to have at least maximum 5 piglets in one room. So it means if you are having more pigs giving birth, it means you should have more room for your pigs. And we even spoke about the fact that their feces is used as biogas, for electricity on the farm and all that. So, like I always advise, when you're looking at doing farming in Ghana, you have to look at your market, where we discussed that the pig or the pork is very, lucrative though, but the market is always a challenge. If you want to do piggery, you have to go into processing, getting your eateries and all that ready, so that when the time comes for you to sell, you get good prices. Because those people in the markets, they come with their own kilo prices and all that, which might not be good for you after the toil of raising pigs and all that. We spoke about cattle rearing, where we said security is the major challenge when it comes to cattle rearing in Ghana, where the Fulani men, herdsmen team up with other people to steal the cattle and all that. So when you're looking at having a ranch in Ghana, your security should be a priority. It's very important. And we spoke about fishery, where we spoke about catfish. The ever-growing catfish, production in Ghana, where we said that, before you get into this catfish business, you should also look for your market, because your fish can be ready and you will not get people to patronize your fish. So, they smoke it to what we call the adjine, which is very expensive, and the point and kill and all that. So you should bear in mind all these things, the modalities, before getting into the fish farming as well. We spoke about our crop, where we said irrigation is the challenge, where most farms in Ghana don't have access to irrigation farming, and it becomes quite problematic, over reliance on rainfall, where in the dry season, the drought, we can't plant, and we have, a season for planting and all that, which brings, some insecurity when it comes to food. So we agree that in agriculture, the most important thing is to get your market. That has gotten a lot of farmers frustrated. I think our sister Fati shared a story about having a 5-acre pineapple farm where she harvested and couldn't get people to buy. So if you are doing farming in Ghana, your market should be ready. You should have the ready market before venturing into any farming at all, not just crop, not just poultry, not just cattle, not just fish. All around. So we touched a little on greenhouse, where today we wanted to talk more on greenhouse farming and go deeper into poultry, because some of our viewers and listeners expressed some interest in investments and all that, where the board sat down and want to introduce what we call the virtual farming. So we'll get there. There are a lot of exciting goodies today. So viewers and listeners should stay tuned.
Yes,
Yes.
wonderful. While our producers are getting the screen sharing, I know you have some things that you want to show us. So while they're getting it together, we can just kind of start briefly, just talk about, when you say virtual farming, what is virtual farming? How can I make money from virtual farming?
Okay.
Okay, I
So
think our producers are showing it now. I believe they're showing
okay.
the slides now.
That's great. That's
Mhm.
great.
You said you can go ahead, but
Okay. So when we talk about virtual farming, a lot of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora have shown concern about, trust issues, not getting the right people to, work with and all that. And some of the people also talk about the fact that they don't really have enough to start a farm.
I mean, sorry to cut you off.
Okay.
The producers are alerting me that you can pin, I believe, the host, then you can kind of follow. It's White dot studio. White dot studio. You can pin that, and then you can kind of follow along on Wyatt's.
Okay. Okay. Oh, White dot studio.
Yes.
Spotlight for everyone. Is that where I have to go to?
Yeah, you
I
can
have
just
mute stop video. Okay.
wonderful. Yep.
Yeah.
So now you can just kind of follow along and talk about the whole process of the greenhouse and virtual farming you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's start with the greenhouse.
Mhm.
I want the greenhouse farming in Ghana. That's where the greenhouse farming is also known as the glass farming. I think it's the third slide. If producers can help me with the third slide. Greenhouse farming in Ghana. Greenhouse farming is also known as the glass house farming. Yeah, I think we are there. The practice of growing in a controlled environment done in a structure made of glass or other transparent material. So basically, when we talk about greenhouse farming, it's more of controlling, you know, the humidity, the moisture content, the sun, everything in an enclosed space. In an enclosed space. And we have some benefits. It enhances crop quality by boosting conditions like
Are you
humidity,
able?
like
I'm sorry. Have you been able to pin it?
okay, I see it. I see it on my screen.
Yeah, you should pin.
Okay. Okay. I think I just did. I pinned
A
it.
pin for yourself, not everyone. Yeah.
Okay. I did.
Okay, wonderful.
But I have a laptop here, so it's actually assisting me. So if
Okay.
it could just yeah. So we have the benefits of the greenhouse farming, where we say it enhances crop quality by boosting conditions like humidity, light, and temperature. Greenhouse farming also improve crop yield. Yes, it improves crop yield, enhance food security. Since it's a year-round, year-round thing, it improves crop security, crop protection as well. You don't have a lot of pests, um, getting into your field and all that, destroying your crops and all that. And extend growing seasons. With greenhouse, you can do it all season. You don't have a dry or rainy season like we spoke about irrigation farming and all that. So you can do it all season. It increases lifespan of the crops after harvest. With the greenhouse crops after harvest, you can have the crops, living longer rather than the normal process whereby you just lose your harvest in 3 days, 2 days. Tomato, the moment is there for like some few days, it goes bad. But with greenhouse produce, it stays longer, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can have it there, fresh, and you can. It's healthy. It's healthier compared to the open farming. Yes, it's healthier. And when it comes to greenhouse, when built right, ensure the greenhouse is properly constructed to provide a conducive environment for the crops. So you must ensure the greenhouse is actually built properly. Choose right. Choose the right crops to grow. We have crops which support greenhouse, so you make sure you have such crops, on your field. And also plant right. Begin seeding warm, loving, long season vegetable crops in the greenhouse. grow right, plan to give crops the longest possible time in a well growing environment while they grow and ripen their fruits. So getting started. To get started, you need your greenhouse frame, which is what we call the conservatory. That's big, structure where you do your greenhouse. I know most of us have seen that structure. The cost of having that structure, the conservatory for greenhouse, ranges from $25,000 to $30,000. That's quite,
Wow.
yes, that's quite some money. It's expensive. Greenhouse is expensive. And it's actually 640 square meter. You can have a plot of land can house two of those, the 640 square meter. And an acre can house 8 of those structures. And the best soil to be used is what we call the cocoa peat. The cocoa peat is, the husk of the coconut. It's processed and that's used for the soil, used as a soil for the greenhouse. It's very nutritious and it's the best. But if you don't have that, and mind you, it's imported. Even though we have local production, most of these ones are imported, the cocoa pits. Ghana imports basically everything. So you can also do it with the loamy soil. Yes, so that's about greenhouse. And we have a company in Ghana who does the importation. Yes, they are into greenhouse. They do the importation and all that. So in case anyone wants to set up a greenhouse farm, they do the importation for you, $25,000 to $30,000. Yes, and ideal crops when it comes to greenhouse, we have bell pepper, which does like 2 to 3 months. You are ready for harvest. We have the habanero, what we spoke about the last week, habanero pepper, where in 2 to 3 months it's ready for harvest as well. We have tomato, which is two in 2 months, and we have cucumber, which is just 1 month, and you are ready to harvest it with greenhouse farming. Yes. So I think we have some slides. The pictures on greenhouse. I think our viewers can see as well. We have some pictures on greenhouse. The next slide, you can see the interior as well. Yes. So this is how the greenhouse looks like. So beautiful. You have your crops, growing in lines and all that. Yes. So that's basically greenhouse. It's a way of controlling, farming. It's a controlled farming where your crops are covered, mostly organic farming, and you don't have pests coming pests coming to your farm to destroy your farm and all that. So it has a lot of advantages. It has a lot of advantages when it comes to greenhouse. So we will definitely take questions, but we zoom into poultry. We have very interesting, conversations to have on poultry, like we started the last time. And now that Parliament making so much noise about poultry, where we had a member of Parliament, A plus, talking about poultry. And we are all looking forward to the budget to be read tomorrow, God willing, by the finance minister. And we see the allocation for poultry and the Nkokon Kitty project the government wants to embark. So we move into poultry farming. We'll take questions on greenhouse and poultry after we're done with everything. The number one farm in the world is in Brazil, and they slaughter 4.426,000 birds annually, over 4 million birds. It's called the JBSC farm in Brazil. They slaughter over 4.4 million birds annually. So you can imagine. And second on the list is Tyson's Foods in the United States of America. They slaughter 1.9 million birds annually, making it the second largest producer of broiler meat in the world. And they export to 115 countries. And the latest broiler sales increased slightly in 2021. As of 2021, they made sales of 13.7 billion US dollars.
Wow.
13.7 billion US dollars. Yes, the Tyson Foods. And they have a lot of farmers working for them. That's the same model we want to work on. They have 3,700 independent farmers raising birds for them. 3,700 independent farmers. They supply the birds and feed and provide technical advice, while the poultry farmers provide labor, housing, and utilities. This cooperation between Tyson Foods and family farms increase efficiency and quality while maintaining affordable prices for consumers. So it's the same model we want to achieve, where Taxes Agri Limited will go solely into processing, and we have a small outgrower scheme where farmers will produce and we will do the processing and the marketing. Because you can't be a producer, you can't be a marketer, you can't be a retailer, you can't be a wholesaler. It's not going to work. So it's a similar model with Tyson's farm. And the third largest farm in the world, they produce 1.7 million broilers a year annually. And they are also located in Brazil. And they've been in business for 80 years. So you can imagine, 80 good years. So I told you, poultry is for life. You do it and you do it for life. And let's take some interesting insights from poultry in Nigeria. I think the last time I spoke about Nigeria briefly, and I'm here with facts now. When we talk about poultry in Nigeria, like I told you the last time, it's booming. 85 million of Nigerians are taking part in active poultry.
Wow.
Out of the 300 million population of Nigeria, 85 million are in active poultry. And it will surprise you that these 85 million Nigerians who are into poultry are able to supply just 300,000 metric tons annually, which is meat, and 650,000 metric tons of eggs per year. They are only able to supply just 30% of what Nigeria needs. Just 30%. The over 300 million population, they are able to supply just 30% of the demand. So you can imagine the largest poultry farm in Nigeria, the Majestic Farms, for former Senator Alhaji Mohammed Sabu Abubakar's daughter. She's been to Nakudu. They produce 300,000 crates every month. A month, 300,000 crates a month. And we are talking about 9 million birds laying every month.
9 what?
9 million birds laying every month.
Hey, 9 million.
9 million birds laying every month on one farm. So when I talk about Nigeria and their poultry, they are not playing. They are not playing. So just imagine if Ghana is to take this poultry thing seriously. Look at the job employment opportunities. 85 million Nigerians are into active poultry. Can you imagine? Out of 300 million people.
And compared to, you have statistics on how many in Ghana are into poultry?
Poultry in Ghana. Oh, in Ghana, I'm not sure we are even up to 200,000. I'm not sure we are even up to 200,000.
Wow.
And mind you, Ghana imports 400,000 metric tons of poultry annually. It's more than the production of Nigeria. Wow. Nigeria is producing 300,000 metric tons annually, and Ghana consumes 400,000 metric tons annually. So it tells you, with 85 million people, Nigeria is not able to even produce more than 300,000 metric tons. So it tells you, even if the whole population of Ghana, which is 30 million, suppose 30 million, is producing poultry in their households, Ghana can still produce poultry for its citizens. So it tells you the opportunity when it comes to poultry in Ghana. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like poultry in Ghana, we zoom into poultry in Ghana like I started. Poultry, Ghana imports 400,000 metric tons of poultry annually. 80% of the consumption of the poultry is the thigh, the breast, back, legs, offals. Approximately 2023, Ghana imported around $350 million into the country. 2024, Ghana imported $400 million, a whooping $400 million of poultry into the country. This is statistics by the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers. So just imagine if we are just to produce half of that, $200 million. How much did Ghana go to the IMF for?
Wow.
It's funny. it's just funny. It's ridiculous, you know. So if government really wants to do what it says it will do, poultry in Ghana will be amazing. We can actually produce a lot. At a point, local hatcheries are just able to do just 5% of the production we need, the 400,000 metric tons, like I mentioned the last time. Most of the broilers we import from outside. We import the broilers from outside. Most of these broilers we import from outside. We import from Netherlands, we import from Denmark, we import from, those countries, the day-old chicks, like I already mentioned the last time, which is a big challenge. So
Why is
that's,
the challenge to it? Like, what was challenging about that?
It's all about technology. The last time I spoke about the injection called the Maric, where it is injected to the birds, and these birds can stay 3 days without eating. 3 good days. And they are very robust. They grow bigger, exotic. But with the local birds, when you risk and you go for local broilers, they will grow like, they are sick, like they are sick of koshoko.
Not just a comment one and I said, Janny be hot.
There's a system, no problem. I say, and cocono. I mean, it's amazing.
But one would say, isn't that how naturally, organically, that's how it's supposed to be? And why should
not necessarily?
Okay.
Not necessarily. I think it's more of technology. We are not technologically advanced when it comes to the hatcheries. There are certain things you have to do to get, a good harvest. Because these day-old chicks, I'm talking about the hatcheries, they come from the Netherlands, they come from, the US and all that. And when they hatch them and they grow, normally I said here that broilers take 2 months to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But with the hatcheries, they house the birds for more than 6 months and they will lay. So if you house a broiler for more than 6 months, it will also lay. It's not just layers who will lay. So that's what we call the parent stock. So the parent stock is what produces the eggs for the broilers, and they are hatched into day-old chicks. So all hatcheries have parent stocks. So all these parent stocks come from outside, But when they hatch those eggs under our conditions, poor technological conditions, we tend to have, problematic birds. I've had a very nice experience with these, these experiences when during the COVID time we couldn't import, birds from outside. COVID, nobody was importing from anywhere.
Right.
So we had to, some of us were still in business, so we had to resort to local production. And mind you, Obaya, if I tell you what, like the money I lost during that time, the birds couldn't become big.
Wow.
They were skinny. They were skinny birds. And everybody wants their broiler very big. So you can imagine. So I'll never risk with local production till we get there.
Okay.
Where we have investors coming into hatcheries. Like I told you in Nigeria, the poultry value chain, 85 million people. We have people doing the hatcheries alone. They hatch just for the farmers. We have people, growing maize, big maize farm, hectares of maize farms. We have people with silos. Because mind you, when it comes to chicken, you cannot give. We have some moisture content in corn. We test. You cannot give them a very wet corn, so you have to dry them. By putting them in silos where they dry naturally, or you take them through dryers. To strain some of the moisture out of it, or else when you give it to layers, you have serious problems. They will
Wow.
not lay. Yes, they will have issues with their digestive tract and all that. So some of them have silos, maize, even the feed mills. Viewers, something you have to look at, having feed mills in Ghana, because feed is so expensive. So if you are to get your raw materials, and 60% of this feed is from maize, we have like 20% soya, we have wheat bran or rice bran, we have oyster shells, we have the calcium carbonate, we have salt. We actually cook for the chicken. They have very nutritious food. So yes, and just having feed mills around, you are going to make a lot of money. Just feed mills. So the poultry value chain is so Ghana can survive on just poultry. We can forget about everything and survive on poultry. And
Really?
like I said, we don't waste land. An acre of land can house 10,000 birds.
One
So just
acre.
imagine, one
This is
acre can house,
that's 4 plots.
4 plots can house 10,000 birds.
Wow.
So just imagine having like 10,000 hectares. You can't, you just can't imagine. You can't imagine it. The
So
biggest farm in Ghana has 500,000 capacity,
wow.
500,000 capacity birds. And we are talking about a farm in Nigeria having 9 million birds laying every day.
Wow.
So we are talking about a capacity of 12 million.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of, birds. That's almost half of Ghana's population.
Wow.
Almost half of Ghana's population. So if we want to do this poultry seriously as business, we can really go far as a country. So let's zoom into virtual farming.
Virtual farming. Okay. Please.
Virtual
What
farming.
is
If
virtual
producers,
farming? Mhm.
yes, producers can share the screen. Yeah, virtual farming. Yes. So when we talk about virtual farming, it's a model of farming specifically for investors in the diaspora where they can witness the broiler production process, that is from raising the day-old chicks to maturity, to processing chicken, to the sale of chicken, sharing of vlogs to regularly update investors on the process of production. So when we talk about virtual farming, this is not a T-bill that you've invested your money in, or a bank kind of investment. No, this is you are on the farm. Investors will be updated on the day-to-day activities on the farm. You see the day-old chicks coming in, so beautiful. They are roaming about. You be seeing it in videos, so that the farm process, how these birds are raised. Because most of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora have showed a lot of interest in poultry, but the issue is very capital intensive. You would have to get your land, get your structure, before you house the birds. So, in
Hmm.
order to do it, we are actually establishing this virtual farming, more of on the job training for investors, where they get to follow the procedure, how to raise birds, so that we give them the opportunity to invest for a year. And after the year, your returns will be wow.
Wait,
So,
please. Let's take it back a little bit more with regarding the
okay.
virtual farming. Um,
Yeah.
you said it's cost intensive. When you talk
Yes.
about obtaining the land in Ghana, if you're doing it manually and
Yeah.
physically, you mentioned that you could use at least 500 Ghana cities to buy a plot of land,
Okay.
right?
So
So
that the
if
plots,
we're
the
talking, I'm
500
just trying to get a
cities.
picture of how much it costs to start one with the farming, getting the land cultivated, everything, how much we're looking at versus
Okay.
the
Okay. Okay. So like I rarely stated, the 500 city land is in the north.
All the way in
the
the north.
Savannah region.
Yes.
You know, yes, and I told you that you don't want to locate your farm in the Savannah region because there are no farms, there are no poultry farms there.
Okay.
Savannah region is good for crop production.
Wow. Okay.
The rice, the maize, mind you, almost all crops do well in the Savannah region. You
Okay.
know, yeah. So for the farming proper, the poultry, you can come to Ashanti region, Eastern region, Greater Accra region, and it ranges from. So when it comes to poultry, like I already said, the land is never a problem. An acre of land goes for, let's say, you can get it like between 10 to 15,000 cedis, like roughly $800 to $1,000. But the structure and the logistics, that would take you to like 150,000, around $10,000.
Really?
Yes, the structure. Yes, for just 1,000 birds. The structure you have to put down, the logistics and all that. Mind you, you are going to get a well, you are going to get a generator. The last time we spoke about Doomsaw, you're going to get, automatic drinkers because these birds drink 70% water, 30% feed. So you should get automated drinkers. Your security on the farm, all these things must be taken into consideration. You have to be able to wall your farm. That's when we talk about biosecurity of the farm. If you have a poor biosecurity, that's where you have infestations like Newcastle, Gumboro disease, bird flu, and all that. So if you don't wall your farm, you are at the risk of having diseases on your farm.
Wow.
Like I said, I've done farming for over 8 years, and I've never had an outbreak on my farm. Never. Because my biosecurity is on point. Nobody enters my farm. Most of these farms are like walkway for people. They pass through their people's farms to their homes and all that. So definitely, that's a poor biosecurity. As a farm, you should have a footbath, what we call a footbath in front of the farm, where people can rinse their feet before entering the farm and even their cars. The vehicle should go through the footbath and all that. So with setting up, I know people might have the money, but the problem is who is going to take care of your farm.
Yes.
Trusted people,
Yes.
trusted people. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know the corners of it, like if you don't know the corners of the poultry, people can just squander your money anyhow. That's why I want to introduce this virtual farming where people can be on the job, like they see what's going on in their farm, where they can see their birds. They will be updated to the day old chick, growing, the vaccinations they are being given, the nutrients and all that, the vitamins and all that. Like I said the last time, we are moving from antibiotics. We don't do antibiotics anymore
Oh, good.
because Europe started, talking about antibiotics 5 years ago. The effects of antibiotics on human beings and all that. So personally, I don't do antibiotics. I said the last time we have crops like moringa, which has antibiotic properties. We have contumely and all that. When they take it, it serves as an antibiotic. We don't need that synthetic antibiotic, to harm human beings. Because mind you, we have withdrawing period for these antibiotics, and sometimes farmers give these birds antibiotics 3 days to, selling the birds. And it's
Wow.
really worrying. Some of the antibiotics, the withdrawal period is like 2 weeks. So just imagine the antibiotics in their birds and they selling it and all that.
Wow.
So with the concept of the virtual farming, it's more of the investor investing, and we have a cap. The investor invests an amount of minimum 100,000 cedis, and in a year they make 50% of their investment, which is 50,000 of that 100,000 cedis. So at the end of the year, the investor gets to walk away with 150,000 cedis. This in turn gives the investor the opportunity to go through more of like the training for the investor when it comes to the poultry farm. so that at the end of the year, if the investor has been able to save a lot of money, the investor can get started, start its own farm. And one of the models of Curtis Agri Limited, that's the business certificates of Curtis Agri Limited and Asanka Premium Foods Limited, the incorporation and all that. So in case if producers could share for us. Yes. So the model of Curtis Agri Limited is to get a lot of smallholder farmers, just like the Tyson's Foods I spoke about earlier. So I'll be very happy. I get like 50, 100 people in the diaspora doing farm, raising 2,000, 3,000 birds. I buy those birds, I process it, I market it. So they leave that to me. So Curtis Agri Limited wants to focus more on processing, branding, marketing, because that's the biggest challenge when it comes to Ghana poultry. Everybody will attest to the fact that you finish your birds and you finish production and you don't get people to buy your birds. You'll be frustrated. So that's why we come in, we have a whole marketing department, responsible for marketing of the broilers. We get to refrigeration vans, the processing plant and all that. So we have our farms are located in Buankra, Continency in the Ashanti region, and Koforidua in the eastern region. We have outgrower schemes inclusive. Both Buankra and Continency sites are on some 7-acre land respectively. Our farm in Koforidua is on some 4-acre plots as well. The farms are currently housing 5,000 broilers. Our farms are mainly into broiler production, where we raise broilers and dress them for households, offices, corporate institutions with large kitchen and canteens for their staff. So, like I rightly stated, the market is there. What we are doing as a company is the door to door. We supply to households. We supply to institutions. We are supply to large kitchens. The companies like Newmont, Anglo Gold, and those companies. They have a kitchen where they cook for their staff. So if we get into the marketing, more marketing, we'll get all these companies on board. Most of the companies cook food for their staff. And the ministries where people will want to buy chicken for the weekend and all that is a lot of work. Marketing, branding, and that's what we want to do. Take the broiler to the doorstep of the people. That's what Curtis Agri Limited wants to do. So, virtual farming, the investment opportunity, a minimum of 100,000 for a period of 1 year to 2 years. So, in a year, you get 50% of your returns. And mind you, I rightly stated that you need 100,000 cedis to raise 1,000 birds. So, it's more of the investor paying for 100,000 birds. Yes. And at the end of the year, the investor gets 50% of their investment. So, this is the breakdown. The breakdown can be seen. You need 100 cedis per bird. 100 cedis per bird. The day-old chick goes for 33 cedis. Out of the 100 cedis, 33 cedis for the day-old chick, the imported day-old chick I was talking about.
Yeah.
So the day-old chick alone takes 33% of the cost for production. So just imagine if we have local hatcheries doing this day-old and doing it well, we can get to like 15 cedis, 12 cedis, and that will bring cost of production down. And the feed cost also takes like 70% of this 100 cedis you are talking about. The silent price is 150 cedis. So that means when you do your math, the profit on each bird is 50 Ghana cedis, which translates to 50,000 for 1,000 birds. So when you sell it, you get 150,000, you get 50,000 profit. We are going 4 rounds. I stated last week that you can go 6 rounds, but we need some weeks for disinfecting the farm, making sure everything is right and all that. So for 2 months, we use it for disinfecting the farm in between production. So we go for 4 rounds. 4 rounds, profit is 200,000. Out of the 200,000, we are giving the investor 50% of their investment, which is the 100,000, which will translate to 150,000. And the remaining money, we'll use it to, like I said, invest in branding, invest in marketing, invest in logistics, processing, so that that will be the drive of the company. If we are able to get our logistics in place, like our refrigeration vans, which can take chicken to Tamale, mind you, when you go to the northern regions, chicken is like, is more of, a prestigious meat. They are not used to chicken in the northern regions. They
Wow.
are used to guinea fowl, cattle, and all that, And in 2019, I was privileged to be in the All African animal agriculture, conference in Accra. And I met people from all over Africa, and I learned that in Zanzibar, poultry is actually a prestigious meat,
Wow.
because Zanzibar is full of water. They are,
An island.
basically an island, so they eat fish. So poultry is prestige in Zanzibar. Even in Ethiopia, they hardly see poultry meat. Ethiopia is the largest producer of cattle in Africa.
Wow.
They hardly see poultry meat. So just imagine Ghana producing and exporting to Zanzibar, exporting to Ethiopia, exporting to Togo, exporting to Benin. Just look at the money we are going to make as a country.
Wow.
So poultry can actually be a drive for the economy. And when we talk about creation of jobs, I don't know any way we can create jobs rather than poultry. Because when you look at some companies, like companies who manufacture cars and all that, these companies mostly work with machines. But with poultry, even if you are doing battery cage system, you need human beings to pick up the eggs. If
Right.
you are doing depleter system, you need every 1,000 birds, you need one worker. So just imagine you having 10,000 birds. You can look at having 6 workers, probably everybody doing 1,500. So just imagine 10,000 birds, having 6 workers work on a 10,000 bird farm. Security, people cooking, taking care of the place. Look at the jobs we are creating. So you can imagine there are several ways to create jobs when it comes to poultry. Like I mentioned earlier, even the feed mills, the number of people it will be employing, the hatcheries, maize production. As I rightly stated last week, even Ghana cannot produce maize for them like ourselves. We import maize from Argentina.
Why?
We import soya beans from Argentina for our poultry. It's just unbelievable.
You see, I see the passion in your eyes. I see, yes, I see the
It's
passion.
unbelievable.
How do we, as a country, not to get so political, but
Yeah.
the way you're talking and your passion, does the Ghana government realizes how important it is to do farming for the country?
In Ghana, funny enough, the moment you enter farming, it's like you've committed a crime.
Really?
Oh yes. Oh yes. You don't have anybody supporting you. You don't have government supporting you. Banks don't want to give loans to farmers. Like, you are on your own. Trust me. And this is what is going to sustain the country. We are eating every day. And if we are to invest in this area of agriculture, Ghana is going to be a better place. Trust me. And I can never do away with government if it comes to poultry. It's a conscious effort by the government. I
Wow.
mean, you have to be bold to say it. Like I already stated last week that it took the ex-Nigerian president, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, to ban importation of poultry products into Nigeria. You understand?
Mhm.
So government has a role to play. You cannot leave it to individuals. We are doing our best, but just imagine if government is interested in this poultry thing. And the good thing is this government is really interested with the Nkokon Kitinkiti policy. They are talking a lot about poultry. It's actually one of the main reasons why they won the election.
Okay.
The poultry, the Nkokon Kitinkiti, and all the 24-hour economy. Just imagine having lights on the farm, solar lights, solar panels, and we producing 24 hours. You can imagine. And I
Yeah.
told you these broilers eat 24 hours. They are called adlibs. They don't sleep. They eat 24 hours. That's
Wow.
how come we have, ready to eat chicken in 2 months. So I'm glad government is really interested in poultry. And just a little, cutting down of importation of poultry can do Ghana a lot of good.
Yes.
400,000 metric tons every year, over $400 million. This is no joke.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, this
Wow.
is no joke.
It's
Yes.
exciting. It's really nice
Oh,
to
yes.
learn about agriculture. Right now, we've learned about the greenhouse. I think that one
Yes.
is a bit advanced. It's more money.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah. More money, yes.
But I'm
Yes.
curious, going back to not to go back with that, but like, how can a greenhouse really, because you're limited to the size, right? Or you can get as
Yeah.
many as you want as you're growing. How can
Oh,
it produce
yes,
the
as
same
many.
amount as 4 acres or whatever, an acre of land?
Yes. Yes, you can get as many as you want. The greenhouse. If you have your 25 to $30,000, you can have it. And you
Wow.
can have your production, year round. That's the good thing about the greenhouse. The whole year you're in production. So when there's scarcity of tomato, you have tomato. When there's scarcity of pepper, you have pepper. You know,
Mhm.
and from my research, I learned that the green bell pepper, the local farmers do that in open space, but they cannot do the red bell and the yellow bell pepper in open space. So it's market for just the greenhouse, farmers.
Wow.
So without greenhouse, you can't do red bell, you can't do yellow bell in Ghana.
Really?
Yes. Oh
Is
yes.
it because of the
Yes.
temperature?
I think the rain pattern should be part. Temperature. There are lots of, like I said, greenhouse. You have the opportunity to actually regulate the temperature in the greenhouse.
Yes.
Yes, they some have fans, so when it's too hot, you can put on the fans. You know, there are so many things. There is a net. So the it's made in such a way that you don't have so much heat into it, and the irrigation farming I spoke about with the greenhouse, it has its own system of water, like something like an irrigation where it's applied water 24/7. In the morning, in the evening, they get the water and all that. So greenhouse, you don't get pests eating your tomatoes, spoiling your yield and all that.
Mm,
Yes. So you have quite some protection when it comes to greenhouse, and you are very sure of your yield. Unlike the open, farming where something can just happen, flooding. When we talk about the north, where when the Burkina Faso open their Bangui Dam or something, the whole north is flooded. So just
correct.
imagine when you have your crop farm there, it will just be flooded and all that. So
Yes.
that's the advantages of the greenhouse. It's really advantageous, trust me, and
Okay.
it's value for money. You can have it for years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned you see, one main concern that a lot of people also have is trust in workers. Obi say if you treat your workers well,
Yeah.
you treat them as if it's their own, they will not rob you, they will not steal from you. But I don't know how truthful this is. If you have a farm that you're doing
That is not exactly
billions,
true.
millions of,
Yeah.
chicken, how do you assure that these people are going to be honest and loyal and not steal?
Like I said, you just need a consultant. You cannot do farming in Ghana without consultancy. That's like shooting yourself in the leg because you don't have any idea about the farming, the
Yes.
marketing, and all that. You know, one of our viewers last week, she tuned in, concerned about her pineapple farm and all that. So we've started talking. You are trying to get a market for some particular crops before we start production.
Okay.
Because without that, we cannot produce. You cannot bank your hopes on the local market. They will fail you. Yes. So you should get your market before you go into, the production. If you are really ready for business, you should be able to pay for consultancy. Trust me. Like I stated last week, I read economics in the university. I had nothing to do with agric. But when I saw the figures, I just loved it. And I wanted to know more about the figures. So that's how come I got myself into poetry. And I've never regretted since. You know, yes, I've never regretted since. So you should get a consultant. I had a consultant at the time and I didn't make a lot of mistakes. Even though I learned a lot of things on the job, but I didn't make a lot of mistakes. Yes.
Let's go back to the virtual farming. Someone is here. You yourself, you're a consultant. You're a
Yes.
consultant yourself. So if someone needs to reach you, they can reach you and you can
Yeah.
guide them through this process, like you said last week. It's here
Yeah.
for, I can assure you and attest to you. Last week, we had a gentleman come on and attested to the fact of how important it is to have a consultant in place. He also talked
Yes.
about how lucrative it is. He mentioned, I think it was $15,000 a month.
$15,000. Yeah, $15,000 a month. And when it
And
comes to
and no,
another,
is it eggs? Is it produce from eggs or production
yeah,
from eggs
eggs,
alone, or do we sell the
eggs.
chicken?
No, eggs.
Eggs,
He does eggs. Yeah, fifteen
eggs
thousand dollars. Yes,
a month.
and mind you, broiler production is more profitable than layers. So just imagine, and he is running a 10,000 capacity farm. You
Wow.
know, so just imagine he getting the market for 10,000 birds, which are broilers. He will be working around 25,000 a month, $25,000 a month.
Wow.
Yes, because broiler is more profitable, but the issue with broiler is the market.
Why?
So, like I said, it is a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy because of the foreign chicken, which is dumped on us. So you have to make people know the need to, get fresh chicken, the health problems associated with it. Like I earlier stated, these chicken which is dumped on us are the buffer stock of those countries.
Oh,
They are, yes, the buffer stock. Some of them are kept for 1 year, 2 years, and they release it to us. So
how sad.
to conserve electricity, they freeze the chicken, they put off the refrigerators, the water will be around the chicken for months, they put it back. It's just unwholesome.
Hold on.
I had, yes.
When it comes to farming, I'm clueless. So this is maybe you'll be somebody's on the platform where they have no knowledge of it. You said they freeze the chicken. So before they transport the chicken, they're frozen and then you bring them to life.
No, when you dress the birds, you actually freeze the birds. You freeze the birds to keep the birds fresh so that it doesn't go bad. That's why you
Okay.
need refrigeration vans to even transport the dressed birds. The moment you kill the chicken and you take the intestines out of it, you have to freeze it
Okay.
or else it will go bad.
Okay.
But if you freeze it, you can freeze it for a year
A
and
year.
you still have it. So what I'm saying is most of these poultry, which is dumped on us, is from the buffer stock of United States of America, Canada, all those countries. They are looking at food security. So they have it in their buffer stock. And when they are able to produce more, they release those chicken. Of
Well,
course, they will not eat it. So they release it to Africa, you know. And when they want to conserve electricity. So when this chicken is frozen, you know, they put off the fridge at a point, and definitely you have water coming out of the chicken, in the fridges, and they put it on again. So it's more of conserving electricity, and that's so unwholesome for consumption. And most of the sicknesses, the diseases are from all those unwholesome chicken,
wow.
which I mean is a problem. So those who are health conscious right now, people are being health conscious. They are being health conscious about the whole thing, and they are really understanding the need to, you know, buy locally, produce chicken, the health benefits and all that. So It's more of marketing, sensitizing the people, getting to the people, and the convenience. A lot of people want these local chicken, but the convenience, it's not convenient for them. You have to go and buy the live chicken. Who has time to go and kill chicken and all that? And these market women who are, have monopoly when it comes to killing of the chicken, the water they can use it to do like 20 chicken. Like,
Oh,
it's so unhealthy.
is
You
there
get
that's
it.
another one of my questions? Aside from the farming, right? You know, over here,
Mhm.
say, oh, it's all touch chicken now. And you go to the supermarket, it's nicely killed. They even if you walked into there's a place called Kunemame in Rhode Island when I was growing up. Kunemame, oh,
Yeah.
wow, Italians. You point to the chicken, they kill it right there. You pick which one you want, they kill it right there. They take the feathers, they
Mhm.
clean it nicely, no make you chop, and then they give it to
Mhm.
you, right?
Yeah.
Do we have
Yeah.
something like that in Ghana, aside from this massive production of just eggs and raising the chicken? Do we have a place where, just like you had mentioned earlier, you have the Tyson company, anything to do
Yeah.
with chicken is them? Do we have
Yeah.
like that in Ghana?
No, 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 no. We don't. Even if we do, there are very few. And these are, some of the things we want to look at as a company. So is in our model. Having, places where people can walk in and, have their chicken slaughtered for them live,
Nicely.
yes, nicely, the parts and all that. These are all parts of our model, having reefer vans to transport the chicken and all that. So it's having restaurants,
We have a lot to
basically
do.
chicken.
We have a
Yes,
but
yes, yes,
gradually, I think having conversations like this will definitely
yes,
in the eyes of so
yes.
many. We
I
talked
think there's a
about you.
form in the
Mhm.
chats. There's a form in the chats for the virtual farming, so that
Yes, I
if
want to
anybody's
go back.
interested,
So there's a
yeah.
lot of questions just to make sure we go and answer most of these questions.
Mhm.
Let's go into some of the questions
Okay.
so that we can hear from our listeners as well in their perspective. All right.
Sure, sure.
I have one. It says, averagely, how much does one need about to I guess start the farming when you have about 10,000 birds? How much you need from inception of raising I know you had talked about it, but just kind of remind people as well so they're not stuck on that 500
Oh, for
Ghana city's land.
for 10,000 birds,
Mm-hmm.
for 10,000 birds,
Yes.
you need nothing less
The
than,
land, the housing,
yes,
everything.
you need nothing less than $100,000. Trust me.
$100,000.
Yes, nothing less than $100,000 for 10,000 birds. I'm sure the person is asking because the man is making $15,000 a month.
Yes, and that's the fact. The man is indeed making $15,000 a month.
Yes.
He came on and he attests to it. He said it. So let's go. It says we should create a fundraiser event so we can share. A fundraiser event so we can share. That's from Ruby. Ruby, I'm not sure what that means, but it can also be online GoFundMe to raise funds, I guess, so we can start cultivating or advertising. Ruby, when we open the lines, I need you to come on and clarify.
And I explain, yeah.
Yeah. Ruby also says Ghana has problem. We don't want Ruby said we don't want injected birds. You know how you were talking about injecting the birds and they don't need to eat, they can stay long for like 2 days. What is the
Oh,
pros and
yes.
cons?
Oh, no, no, it's not a bad thing. It's actually to boost their immune system since they are traveling.
Okay.
So it's not like you inject the birds whilst they are growing. No, 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 no. It's more like, you giving a child polio, vaccinations and all that.
Event.
That's it basically, yeah.
Francis said the problem is political. It goes beyond the face value. Some of the IMF conditions ban us from growing to eat. There are external factors, but it's all political, and this is not the time for it. All right, we got you, Mr. Francis. Nana Kosia says, all jokes aside, let's think of how we'll get things done for ourselves. Growing the land for, doing farming for ourselves. You mentioned our neighbors, the Nigerians, who are actually ahead of us right now. So
Yes, and even Burkina Faso is ahead of us when it comes to crop production.
Burkina Faso too.
Ghana imports tomato from Burkina Faso.
Huh?
Oh, yes. 70% of tomato in Ghana, Burkina Faso has no water. It's a landlocked country, they take their containers from Ghana, their combined harvesters, their tractors are shipped to the Tamahabo and they send it to Burkina Faso. They don't even have sea. But here is Burkina Faso producing tomato for Ghana.
80 wait, Summit. So,
Oh, somebody said it's called Balaga tomato. Yeah.
wow.
Yes, it's
Is
that.
it because we don't? I can't be thinking.
It's because we are not serious. That's the only thing to say. We are not serious with agriculture. It's
Wow.
hard to say, but that's the truth. We are not serious with agriculture.
Wow. Mr. Francis said the problem is political. Yep, we already mentioned that. Mr. Francis also said the Netherlands is one of the major agricultural exporters of the
Yeah.
world. About 90% of their farm products are from greenhouse.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Some people, no matter what you do, they will steal. That's what Eva said. Adelaide just said that. Rebecca, hello. So who and where do we do the consultation with? You are looking right at him. Mr. Samuel, take it from there. Talk a little bit more about your
Yeah.
consultation, what the process is like.
Oh, okay. So I think my information is there. My information, if the producers can share my information. Yeah. So you reach out, I give you a contract, and then we sign on to the consultation. I actually help you with everything from starting the farm to marketing to getting people you can trust and all that. Like I rightly stated, we make sure those people working for you sign contracts. They can't just come and do anything. They are binded by those contracts. And if anything goes bad, we are going to bring them to book. So we have that legal effect. So most definitely we get you trusted people you can work with. We get you trusted people you can work with. And like I already stated the last time where people were, not too convinced about the 500 cities, farmland. I have people in the Savannah region who are ever ready to assist in the acquisition of the land. Anywhere I mentioned, I have people there. So some people asked me about Volta region, about Western region and all that. But I told them that I have no idea about those regions, even though they do farming. But all those, regions I mentioned, I have men there who can assist you to do farming. Yes.
Okay, so the next one is what happened to Darko Farms? I'm not sure what Darko Farms is.
Okay, Dako Farms is once in a lifetime the biggest farm in Ghana. Yes, and I don't know what happened to them though, but I know they are still in production, but not like at first, yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Is by Elegantus. He said, I don't want to cause chicken abortion, so I'm more interested in the broilers. What does that mean, please?
I have no idea.
Mr. Elegantus, if you get a chance when we unmute, you can just come on and explain yourself. He said, I don't want to cause chicken abortion. So I'm more interested in the broilers. Okay. Our producers have also
Oh, I get him. I get him now.
okay,
With the
explain.
eggs, with the layer production, the eggs are eaten. So
Huh?
eating the eggs, the eggs with the
Yes,
layers. Yeah,
yes,
the eggs are the eggs are eaten. Yeah. So
yes.
it's more of killing the eggs. You don't let them.
Oh,
So that's the
oh.
abortion he's speaking about.
Reverend Dr. Nkrumah, like Dr. Michael Nkrumah said they call it bulgur tomatoes. Yes.
Mhm.
From okay. Cosby also says Ghanaians in general don't appreciate what's from Ghana. They prefer foreign stuff than domestic. Is this your perspective too when it comes to agriculture?
It's not entirely true. Because last week I stated that I know of a farm called they do Vesta oil. They use soya bean to produce soya oil and it's on the market. Anytime I go to the supermarket, I make sure I buy Vesta oil because it's locally produced, it's made in Ghana. And anytime I go to the shelf, I see that, I mean, it's almost done. So people want it, but the truth is, how many people are producing in Ghana? Because Blue Skies is doing great in Ghana. Blue Skies is a company who produces fruits and they make it into fruit juice and all that. Every corner you get to, there's Blue Skies, and they are doing well. They are in Sawam. They are doing well. They are in business for years and they are still in business.
Wow.
So I mean, that mentality of Ghanaians not being proud with what they have is actually fading. Ghanaians are wearing a lot of made in Ghana clothes. As you see me, I'm wearing made in Ghana.
Right. But you
So
know, the reason why this question also came up is because here at TapTap Send, we Christmas time, we were trying to support local farmers in
okay.
in Ghana. So what we were doing was gifting people with local grown rice. In the
Okay.
end, people were telling us that we were cheap. They prefer how can we give them local grown rice? It's not good. It doesn't they want, they prefer the jasmine rice, the frequent, you know, the fragrant rice, etc. You know, so
But the local rice is more nutritious. And
exactly.
I know that at some point the local rice was challenged with the processing and the branding.
Yes.
You know, where sometimes you eat it and you buy stones and all that. So people definitely don't want to eat it again. But right now, our local rice is really doing well.
Nice.
Yes, it's really doing well. Local
Nice.
rice production is really doing well. Yes.
Well, we thank God. Kakra kakra, we'll get there. You know,
Oh yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I believe in Ghana.
yes. Linda A says, do you also consult on crops?
Oh, yes, I can help her on that.
All right. Our
Yeah, I can
producer
help her.
will kindly put his information and contact info, his all his everything you need to know or reach him in the chat room. We will also put in the link to our WhatsApp group. If you want to join, if you have any questions regarding what we're talking about today, you can definitely also join that group. Mariana's phone also said, is this when you have acquitted your land already or you can help with getting of the land? Acquitted?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can help you get the land as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Curtis just joined. Can we get a summary of what has happened, what has been sent? Mr. Curtis, once we are just kind of chime in, follow along. So far, what we're talking about is agriculture, farming, whether it's poultry, whether it's aggregation. We did a segment last week, and we are continuing to discuss agriculture in Ghana, how to make it lucrative. We are
Yeah.
learning today, but enough it's very quite expensive, but I believe once it is established, you are going to be very happy. Like one of our listeners tuned in last week and really stated that he's making $15,000 a month.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
Regarding the virtual farming, if someone is making 15K a month and I am virtually investing in
Yes.
someone's farm to also
Yes.
get the same money back, is the math, is it, you know, how lucrative is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The math is mathing.
The math is mathing.
Oh yes.
So you
Because
said
you
you
get
can
like 50% on your investment annually,
a
you
year.
know, a year. So the minimum to invest is 100,000 cedis. And when you invest 100,000 cedis, at the end of the year, you are making 150,000 cedis. Yes, 150,000 cedis. So you make 50% returns on your investment. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing that's I guess people also want to know is you said not to develop, like you need to establish your customers before you really start doing this farming thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Don't depend on the local
No, 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 no.
market is, right? The women in the
No.
market. So
Yeah.
where does one begin to find their customers before they start? If someone wants to do it by themselves, where do they start? Because there
Same
aren't
thing.
factories.
Same thing. It's the same thing. You have to get a consultant. You know, he will teach you the corners, he will teach you where the market is. You get it. and also help you to get people who can actually assist you with the marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how you, because when I started farming, I started farming right after national service. I started my own farm from scratch. I went into the forest. I slept in the chicken pen for days, raising the broilers for market, December, Christmas. I was so enthusiastic, and I took some of the broilers to the Jesu market. By the road, I was selling chicken, and I didn't even know at the time that the broilers don't like the sun. So I ended up losing hundreds of the broilers because it was sunny that day and they died. So all these things are things a consultant will tell you, that you can't send broilers. And mind you, when chicken is being transported from the farm to the slaughter, it's done during the dawn, at dawn. You can do it in the hours of 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. As soon as the sun is out, the birds will die with
Wow.
broilers. Yes, you can't transport broilers during the afternoon. The sun will kill them. They don't like the sun. So all these things, if you don't have a consultant, you
Mhm.
cannot know. We have a way where the birds can get into stampede. The birds can, peck each other. You see blood. They kill each other. So you
Wow.
have to make sure there's a lot of salt in their food. There's zinc because of the beak. So the moment you put in more salt and zinc, they stop picking at each other. You can introduce, things like contumely, the moringa. The moment they get something to, pick on, they stop pecking. Pecking
Wow.
can make you lose your stock. They kill each other like something.
The
They're big.
chickens.
Yes, even if you debeak them, it still grows back. There can be stampede where they'll be running. The corners. If you don't block the corners, they can be at the corner. You go, 50 birds are dead. All these things are things a consultant will teach you. If you don't know, you go in, blank. You experience. One of our brothers last week, I've actually started engaging him. He mentioned that he invested like 6,000 birds capacity farm, brought in a lot of money, and he's lost all his investment because he didn't have a consultant.
Wow.
Yes, and my brother, on the other hand, has a 10,000 capacity farm and has a consultant and is doing well.
Well.
So people look at the money we are taking and be like, what is he doing? You have no idea the money we are saving from. We are saving you from losing a lot of money. We do the cost benefit analysis for you, like I rightly stated last week. If you are raising birds, 1,000, 2,000 capacity bird, you don't have to make your own feed. You run at a loss. Bringing maize to your farm, bringing soya to your farm, you don't have the numbers. So it's better to buy ready prepared feed. But when you have a 10,000 capacity farm, a 6,000, 7,000 capacity farm, it's advisable to make your own feed, because a cedi on a bag of maize, 2 cedis on a bag of maize, 2 cedis on a soya, saving that, you can add it together and have a lot of money being saved. So we do the cost benefit analysis. It's not like it's a dead end. Like the moment you say something, that's it. Every
Mm.
circumstance, you know, has its way of dealing with it. Yes.
Hmm.
So that's it.
I think people are a little bit on edge and don't quite understand the virtual farming.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, they're a bit on edge. Like the numbers that you're given, the doubling of the money, they're a bit, someone inboxed me
Oh,
privately. So they want to
okay.
really
So
talk about
okay.
the
So let me explain the virtual farming again.
yeah.
The virtual farming is basically you farming from abroad. You are not here, but you are farming. You have your birds at the farm. So you see what's going on at the farm. We have vlogs where investors will see the day-to-day activity of the farm. So you see your investment. You see how it's doing. When the birds are being slaughtered, you see the day old. When they brought in, you see, and everything. So you've been part of the production process. It's not like you take your money and you are somewhere and you don't see anything, and at the end of the year we tell you this is what you have. No. That's not what we mean. The virtual farming means basically you being part of it, so that at the end of the year, if you want to start your own poultry farm, you'll be equipped enough because you know how the poultry is being raised. So if you get people to help you, if something is going bad, you can just tell them that no, this is not how it's done. I've seen this thing being done before. So if you are investing 100,000 cedis, you are getting 50,000 cedis annually on your investment. This is not far-fetched. We are making 200,000 cedis a year on your 100,000. We give you 50,000, and with the 150, like I said, we'll invest it into processing materials. We invest it into marketing, logistics, refrigeration vans, and all that, because that's what's going to bring more money. So when we invest it into branding and all that, you have more money coming in. You can make more investments, getting more birds on the farm, and definitely when the market is there, it will get to a point we'll be doing 100,000 birds, 200,000 birds, and just imagine how much the investor is going to make.
So can one invest more than that amount and double it, like multiply it, instead of...
Oh yes,
You know what I'm saying?
the moment you invest more than 100,000, definitely you're going to make more money, and you can invest for 12 to 24 months, not more than 2 years.
Okay.
Not less than 1 year, not more than 2 years. So you can invest for 12 months, 16 months, 24 months. It's actually a contract with you and the company. It's not like a word of mouth. There's a contract we sign, we agree on the terms, clauses which are binding. Amount, someone just asked, it's 100,000 cedis. We'll be able to cater for 100,000 1,000 birds, 100,000 cedis. That's the minimum amount.
So the virtual farming is essentially an investment, like you buying
It's an investment. Yes. It's an investment.
You get to see more than just the money growing, but you get to see the whole process and how.
Exactly. That's the virtual farming.
Okay. Christy,
so unlike,
go ahead.
Unlike you starting your farm in US and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
When you tell your worker to even make a video for you, mind you, the video they will send you, he's not even using a quality phone. So you can imagine.
Right.
So yes. We have a website and all that. So we'll be posting the vlogs on it where investors will have access with passwords to see the progress of the farm and all that. Okay. Yes. Wonderful. So that's the virtual farming.
So Christy says, I know pricing for consultancy probably varies. However, please, what's the estimated price for consultant on crop farming? For an example, maize farming, so for crops. Is there a difference? Is there a variation with either somebody coming to get a consultation for crops versus poultry farming? Is there a difference? And what is the average consultancy fee? If you don't mind sharing. If you want them to reach out to you privately too, they will reach out to
you. Just reach out.
Okay. All right. Curtis says, is this the same as crop estates? I'm not sure what that means. Is this the same as crop estates? Curtis, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back. We'll go straight into those who have their hands up. I see Mr. Gideon, and I also see Adelaide with their hands up. So for now, let's take a quick break from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Please stay put. We'll be back shortly.
TapTap said. Oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos. The only boss. Wait, one is. Baby, I will be everywhere I day and everywhere I go. TapTap Send got me covered. If you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TapTap Send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TapTap Send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TapTap Send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, the other time I would channel, like my view, hey, you crazy.
Download TapTap.
All right, we are back on again. Thank you all so much for tuning in today from soil to success. Miss Rebecca wants to know, Mr. Samuel, so who are the consultants that we can contact, please? I believe Miss Rebecca, Mr. Samuel himself is a consultant. You can definitely reach out to him. His information has been placed in the chat. So if you want to talk to him, kindly reach out to Mr. Samuel. He'll be more than happy to assist you. So again, Ms. Rebecca, I hope this answered your question. Mr. Samuel himself is a consultant. Now let's go right back to our listeners who have their hands up. We can, if our producers can kindly unmute them, that would be greatly appreciated. Mr. Gideon, let's go ahead and mention your name and what state you are calling from, please, and thank you. Mr. Gideon, you have your hands up. Can we kindly unmute, please? All right. If Mr. Gideon is not ready, we'll go to Adelaide, Eva, Yaboa. Mr. Gideon,
hello.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, I'm calling from PA, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yes. So last week I wasn't able to join. So if we can get the recorded version of it, I will gladly appreciate it.
Sure, Mr. Gideon, no problem.
And then with regards to farming, I know how important farming is, and I've been a farmer before. I had plantain farms in Agogo back in 2018, 2019, just recently. So I know how lucrative that business is. But right now, I want to venture into a poultry farm. Am I still on?
Yep, you're on. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think 2 years ago, I went to Ghana, and when I went there, I saw that my brother has turkey and akantia and stuff in the house. He was doing that himself. So this year, I tried to acquire some land in that village so that I would start a poultry farm. But I'm a little bit skeptical because I don't know where to start from, and I don't know how to start it. So I have about 4 to 5 acres of land in that village that I want to start. So I think that me joining this program would help me very, very much. And I want to start next year. I don't know if there is any materials that I can read about it or anything. If you can share your slide too, I would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Gideon. Of course, this is the right place to be. We usually record our videos and post it on YouTube and as well as Facebook. So you can definitely catch the previous videos from last week on there. We also have a WhatsApp group. The producers have actually placed the link in the chat. You can join the WhatsApp group and you can ask all the questions that you desire. Most of the professionals that we bring on board to speak to us are also on these platforms. So I hope that helps. Kindly reach out to Mr. Samuel. His contact is also in the chat. He will gladly help you along the way. All the questions that you have, he may definitely be able to assist you with the answers as well. So thank you, Mr. Gideon. I hope that was informative for you. Miss Adelaide, if you don't mind, unmute and ask your question, please.
All right. Hello, I'm
your
Adelaide.
Name and where you're calling from.
I'm Adelaide. I'm calling from California.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Oba, you and your organizers, and then our resource person. We really appreciate. So, I'm also interested in farming, and I had wanted to go into poultry farming, but I have a family member who went into poultry farming and he failed because the person is in the States, and those taking care of it mess everything up. Like everything, all the money he invested came back to nothing. So that really kind of put me off. But after listening to this program, I'm beginning to have a little bit of interest again, but I would want to go into the virtual farming first, so that at least I get to learn more. And then from there, I guess, just as he said, I will know how and maybe who to involve myself with so I can start my own. But I'm also thinking, I know a lot of times we say this and we say that. Everything he said about the virtual farming sounds great, it sounds good. But are there terms and conditions apply somewhere? Because I know usually the people always tell you the good things that you want to hear, the sweet things, and then the other stuff they try to hide it and put it somewhere in the contract that you can't even read. So please, if there are any terms and conditions, I would like to know. And then also, is it 100% assured that you are going to get that 50% return? Please, thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Adelaide, for your questions. There was multiple questions, but I'm sure our guests will gladly be able to answer.
Yes. So about first of all, there's a form in the chat room where you can fill if you are interested in the. Like she said, there's a contract between Cartes Agri Limited and the investor, and your returns is rest assured. It's not like rocket science. This is something which is, I mean, proven. It is done and tried and tested. And like we're saying, we are making more money than the 50,000 we are giving you. Just that we are investing it into the housing because you don't have the housing. You don't have the security. You are not paying for labor, and we are doing all those things for you. So the 50,000 is assured. There's no terms. There's nothing. That's the truth. 50,000 at the end of the year, which is the 50% returns on your investment. Is rest assured. I mean, and I'm looking at the future where those people on the virtual farming will be helped to open their own farms. That's the idea. So that we have a lot of outgrowers, where they can feed Cartus Agri Limited, who will go basically into production and processing. I mean, processing, not production, processing and, branding and marketing, because we can't do everything. That's why we're giving people the opportunity to take part in the success story, just like Tyson's farm. Yeah. So she's rest assured, you shouldn't be scared. 100% her investment is safe. And she gets to see everything going on with her investment. Yeah.
Wonderful, Mr.
Thank you.
I hope that was informative for you. With every contract, you just have to make sure you read the fine lines, even if you have an attorney involved, to read the contract over with you. But Summit is one of our own minimum. Don't worry.
And Obaya, something people would like to probably is worth noting. I'm in the Ghana School of Law. So when it comes to law, I'm very abreast with law. Yes, I'm in the Ghana School of Law. Next year I'll be called to the bar. Yes.
Wonderful.
So I have a legal background. So you are in safe hands.
Good to know. Wonderful. Everybody that we bring, our guests that we bring on the show, we do intense research. They are people we know and who are legit. So Miss Adelaide, definitely reach out to our guests if you have any further questions. Mr. Tuga, if you don't mind, you can unmute, state your name and where you are calling from. Mr. Tuga? Mr. Tuga? All right, we'll be back with your question. We'll come back to you. Mr. Bright Osebonsu. Mr. Tuga, are you on?
Yeah, can you hear me, sis?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was trying. I think that
That's okay.
I wasn't able to unmute.
That's okay. Go ahead with your question.
All right,
where you're calling from and your name, please.
Okay, so I do live in North Carolina, but I'm sitting here in New Jersey right now. Okay. But I live in North Carolina. So I had a different question, but since Mr. Samuel was just talking about the virtual farming,
yes,
I wanna take him back there. So about the return on investment, you said if I invest 100,000, 50,000 is assured at the end of the year.
Yes, that's
and you also said 100,000 is the minimum. So at the end of the year, when you give me the 50,000, is it not possible to reinvest the 50,000? I have to take it
Oh,
and make it 100.
it's okay. So what's happening is at the end of the week, you can invest for 1 year, which is 12 months. You can invest for 12 months, 18 months, or 24 months. You get it? So
Okay.
I'm sorry, 12 months, 12 months, yes, 18 months and 24 months. So depending
Okay.
on what you want to do. So if the contract is for 12 months, at the end
Okay.
of that contract, you'll be paid your principal and your returns, which is
Okay.
150,000. So if
Okay.
you decide to have another contract with Cartes Agri Limited, that's a new contract altogether.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So we make
Okay.
sure we pay your. It's not like we it's not like a carry-on thing. You get your
Oh, okay.
investment, you get your
Okay.
principal. If you want to top up, you can top up. If you want to reinvest that 100,000 and still keep your returns of
50,000.
50,000, you can. So it depends on
Oh,
you. But at
okay.
the end of
Okay.
the season, the contract ends. Yes.
I got it. I got it. Is it okay if I add my second question?
Go
Sure,
ahead.
sure, you can. Yeah.
Okay, so the second question was about the capital that you need
Mm-hmm.
to start your
Mm-hmm.
own poultry. So
Mm-hmm.
you said I was late today, so I heard about the 10,000 birds, and you need $100,000. So
Yeah.
on the farm, is it necessary that some workers have to stay on the farm, and if they do, their accommodation is it included in
Okay.
this 100,000 estimate?
Yes, they are all factored in it. They are all factored in it. But um, you don't have to start 10,000 birds as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
What I always recommend is to start 1,000, 2,000 capacity farm so that you know the corners of the farm before increasing your yield or increasing your stock. It's disastrous to start 10,000 birds at a go. You will fail.
Okay.
Trust me, you will
Okay.
fail.
Yeah,
So you have
I
to
use
start
that as.
small
I'm
and build
sorry, I
on it.
didn't mean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yes.
cut you, but I was late today, and that was the figures, the amount of
Yes,
beds,
yes,
and then the amount that you
yes,
mentioned. That's why I used that.
yes. It's always
So
good.
yeah.
I always advise my clients to start 1,000, 2,000 bed capacity. And as you
Okay.
grow, in the short time, you can get to 10,000. In
Okay.
the
So
year
you.
or two, you can easily get to 10,000. But start
Okay.
small.
So
Yes.
you're saying whatever estimate you give to me is gonna include something. You're gonna make a shelter or something for
Oh yes, the
whoever is
shelter
gonna
where the
stay on the
workers will
farm.
stay. Oh yes, where
Okay.
the workers will stay. The shelter for the birds. Your feed
Okay.
room where you keep your feed and all that. All those things will be factored.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
all
Thank you
those
so
things will
much,
be
bro.
factored.
Thank
Thank
You're
you,
you
Mr.
so
welcome.
much.
All
I
right,
think
Mr.
somebody
Bright.
asked.
I'm sorry.
But I think someone asked in the chat room that the 100,000 is cities or dollars. It's cities.
Please.
100,000 cities, not dollars.
Yeah.
100,000 cities.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Tuga, if you don't mind, if you can put your hand down and come back if you have more questions. Let's go to Mr. Bright Osei-Bonsu, please.
Hello, Obaya, good evening, and to your cherished viewers or whatever on the platform.
Good
I'm
evening.
happy to be here.
Wonderful. Where
Yes,
you calling
I
from,
think the lecturer
Mr.
was
Osei,
able
what
to.
state are you calling from? Please and thank you.
Oh, maybe I'm New England,
Oh,
calling from Worcester.
wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm going to mix the English and then the P so that people will understand.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. When it comes to investment, I think a lot of the diasporans are eager to do investment. But the point is, at the end of the day, if you don't have the basics, the background, you will go and do investment and then you find yourself wanted. Mejidi yes, papa no ana brand no ordinary bebre edu akwanso when it comes to investment. There was a classical case, I think 8-10 years ago at Sogakope General area about this tilapia business. People invested, and at the end of it, the same thing applies to this. And me this suggestion, but say before you do such an investment, we individuals who are staying in here, let us try educate ourselves. There are a lot of agribusinesses around here. If you want us to invest,
we're getting some feedback. If you
Yeah.
are not talking, please kindly mute your phone. Please and thank you, so we can clearly hear what some of our viewers has to say. Mr. Bright, please forgive the interruption. If you can go on and continue with your dialogue, please. Wakasa
Yeah, we lost him. Yeah.
But what he said is very true. You know, with business, what I've noticed, Samuel, is, you know, there's pros and cons. You have to definitely know what you're doing. You have to know who you're talking to. You have to know, it's almost like, you know, investing in the stock market, right?
And not to cut you short, what he's talking about wasn't virtual farming.
It
Most
wasnь
definitely.
yes.
10 years ago, there was nothing like virtual.
Yeah.
You know, COVID brought a lot of virtual stuff. So when we talk about virtual, it's like 2020 coming down. You get
Yeah.
it? So it's not like you investing, like I rightly stated, it is not a treasury bill or, you know, an investment with a bank. It's you doing the farming yourself, you know, partaking in the process, where you be sent vlogs, where you see the progress of the birds and all that. So it's not like you invest and you go to sleep. You invest and you are part of the process. You can engage the consultants, you can engage the directors and all that. And you are rest assured your investment is in safe hands. It's not like you invest and you don't see anything going on the whole year and we come back with your money and all that. No, no, no. The idea, probably people don't really see the idea. The idea is to actually get people interested in the farming because of the returns, and open their own farms where they can produce for Curtis Agri Limited to buy. That's the idea, because we are not really interested in the production too much, because we've seen that there's a need for branding, marketing, going out there, processing and all that to compete with the foreign, you know, whatever. So we are more interested in building more farmers, the outgrower scheme. Like I already mentioned, Taylor's Tyson's farm, they have like thousands of, you know, farmers, over 34,000 farmers. So you can imagine if Curtis Agri Limited has like 1,000 farmers growing, you know, raising birds for us, we are going to be great together.
That's right.
You know, so
That's
that's
right.
the idea.
Wonderful. Well explained. Madam Nana Akosia Friye, if you can unmute and state your name and where you're calling from, please, and thank you. Nana Akosia Friye. Okay. Miss Nana Akosia Friye. Okay, since she's paused right now, let's go back to some of the questions in the chat room.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good.
Where
How
you're
are you
calling from,
too?
please?
Yes. So I am Nana Friye, and I'm speaking to you from Kentucky. My question is, well, you know, sometimes you make investments in Ghana, and eventually they will tell you that, oh, the dollar price has gone up, and so it's gonna affect your ROI. So I want to ask, in this venture, will the dollar price, you know, whether it increases or decreases, will it affect our returns on investment, or we should be rest assured, you know, because we want to be really sure what we are doing, that at the end of the day we are going to get, you know, what we have been promised.
Good question. Good question. So, Same, I hope you heard the question. Would the dollar rate affect the returns?
Okay, so we are taking this money in cities, and we actually factored. I mean, we took into consideration people in the diaspora are bringing dollars or city within city equivalent. So we actually the returns was actually 40%, but we pegged 10% against inflation and depreciation of the city. That's how come we got to 50%. So that you are rest assured that your money will not depreciate, because even if the dollar to CD, the CD depreciates 10%. Right now we are looking at around 15 CDs per dollar. So even if it depreciates 10%, that'll be around 16.5 thereabout. So you still have your investment intact. So we took that into consideration. So 10% was used to peg depreciation of the CD. But right now the dollar CD is relatively stable, but we still made provision for that. Yeah, so her investment is safe.
Wonderful. All right, Miss Fati, Madame Fati, if you can kindly open your mic and ask your question, please. Our dear sister from New Jersey, I believe. Mama Fati.
Hey, Oba, this this virtual farming is too juicy.
It's juicy, isn't it? It's juicy, hot, hot.
I'm just chatting him behind the scene. This is
Oh,
too
I
juicy. Oh.
couldn't
I
find it.
hope it's not gonna be like
Yeah.
there was this
Oh,
bank
yeah,
that
I had it
opened up
here.
in Ghana. What's the name?
Is it man's gold?
No. There's another one. The one that
Piram. Is it Piram?
no, there was one in Sunyani. They have a big building.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I heard about that one too.
They were even relating it to some political party, blah blah
Yes,
blah,
that's
and
true.
co.
That's true.
That they took people's money, promising them returns, and at the end of the day,
Yeah.
some of them, the bank went bankrupt, and a lot
Yes.
of people, some even died, some became so
Yeah.
miserable. So
But this
I
is
want
not a
to ask
bank.
Sammy, what's the name of the bank?
This is not a bank. This is
I'm just
a,
coordinating. And you have to refer this world there. The way
this
the
is
thing
the
is so juicy, if I suffer to get like six
you
or
know
$7,000 and convert it into 100,000 and give it to you, what
yeah.
is the guarantee that my money is not going to go into drain?
Okay, so Fatih, this thing we are doing is a contract,
Mhm, mhm.
and is legally binding. And like I told you, I said something about my background. I'm in the Ghana School of Law. I'll just be called to the bar next year, God willing. So
Oh,
I
if
mean,
you're a
looking at my
lawyer, so if you are cheating us, you will defend yourself, then you go
not
into
necessarily,
is that it?
not necessarily. We have the GLC, the Ghana, the GLC, which is the General Legal Council and all that. You can't do anything. A legal profession is a noble profession. So if you are part of the legal fraternity, it means you should be a nobleman. So the idea is not even I'm making money out of farming, and I want my sisters and brothers in the diaspora to enjoy. But that the 50% and all that is even less than what you make if you are producing it yourself. You get more money than what I'm even giving you. So the idea, Fatih, is to be able to groom you into appreciating agriculture and moving in yourself. That's the idea. At the end of the year, you should be able to set your own farm up. I gave the statistics. Nigeria is doing 300,000 metric tons a year, and it's just 30% of their demand. They can't even produce for themselves. And mind you, this is 85 million people actively involved in the farming of poultry in Nigeria, and they are producing 300,000 metric tons. Ghana imports 400,000 metric tons. So you can imagine there is space for everybody in Ghana. Even if the 30 million people are all doing the poultry, we'll still not be able to produce for ourselves. So the idea is for everybody to come on board. But like people rightly stated, they are scared of Ghanaians. You are somewhere and you open some jobs for people to do, and they'll collapse it. They'll just make sure your investments go down the drain. So we are here. The virtual farming means you being part of it. We send vlogs so that you see what's going on the farm. You are abreast with everything going on the farm. You are learning actually.
I think his connection is off. It's frozen, but I'm sure he will rejoin us. Madame, okay. I think he's back. Okay, Rocklin. Rocklin, if you don't mind coming in and ask your question. Please let's limit the questions to one, please, and thank you. Time is not on our hands at the moment. So Rocklin, if you don't mind, ask your question, state your name, and state your calling from.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening. My name is Rocklin. I'm calling from Toronto. So I just had a question about, so after the 1 or 2 year investment, if we do want to set up our own poultry farm, will you be the one providing us with all the resources required in order to set this up? And will the money required to set it up, will it be more than our initial, like how much money is required in order to set up this business on our own after the 1 or 2 year investment?
Okay. Well, that's a good question. So, Rocklin, right?
Yes.
What I intend doing is to give you free consultation. Once you're part of the virtual farming, I'll help you set up. So the returns will be given to you plus your principal. And we'll look at how many birds you can do. If it's 1,000 capacity you can do, we will help you do that. If it's 2,000 capacity you can do, we will help you do that. And at the end of the day, we'll buy the bird from you so that you don't even stress with marketing. Because that's the idea. You can right now you can start a broiler farm and you will not get people to buy it for you. That's the challenge with a lot of poultry farmers in Ghana. And this is where we come in to resolve that issue of market in Ghana. So the moment the contract is over and you are in good standing to start your own farm, we help you with the consultation so that you do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, we are going to take the produce from you. And in the near future, what we intend doing is to give farmers day-old chicks and even give them feed so that they will produce the housing, they will provide the housing and the labor. And at the end of the day, we take the birds and we do the math and give you what is due you. That's what Tyson's Farm is doing in the United States of America. And we are eager to replicate that in Ghana. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think we know the questions are all legit. You know, investing is not easy. It's like the stock market, like I said. It's here for the virtual farming is essentially an investment. You are investing, but this one is guaranteed. There's no up and down. It's not like you're buying a stock and then all of a sudden it drops and then so this is guaranteed. So I guess one question is asking, is the returns in dollars or is in cities? I believe it's a
in cities. It's in cities. Since you're investing in cities.
You're investing in cities. Another question is does the virtual farmer have a portion of the farm they can assume ownership of at any time, or does
no, this is an investment and not a partnership.
Yes, it's an investment.
What we want you to do is to equip you for you to start your own farm. At the end of the year, you should be able to start your own farm. At the end of 18 months, 24 months, whatever months you want to do, you should be able to start your own farm. We know that some of you have the resources, but we are saying don't go into it now, because you get friends disappointing you, you get relatives disappointing you, you get outsiders disappointing you. That's the trend of the day. People in the diaspora are complaining about that a lot. So we are in here to help you farm with us as you see the pros and cons of farming. And at the end of the year, you'll be equipped and more than happy to start your own farm. That's the idea of this whole virtual farming.
Wonderful. It's here for, I just want to draw your attention to the chat room. We have the link for our WhatsApp chat room, for our WhatsApp group in the chat. So if you want to be part of the WhatsApp chat group to further discuss, and our guest is also on the platform. Samuel is also on the platform in the WhatsApp group. So any questions after the show that you want to reach out to him, back end, you can definitely do so. So please click on the chat, click on the link in the chat to kindly join the WhatsApp group. Thank you all so much. I believe we have one more question. Nana Kosia-Friye, do you have another question, or you are
Yeah. I just wanted to ask whether this investment was going to be like an individual investment or it's a collective investment?
Okay, it's an individual investment. Everybody has their contract. So when you invest, it's an individual investment. You get your contract, you sign on it. Another person gets the contract, sign on, because definitely the figures will be different. Somebody would like to do more than 100,000 CDs. Someone will
Okay.
want to do
Okay.
100,000.
Yeah.
Someone will want to do 200,000. So definitely, it's a contract for individuals and not collective.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
You're very
You're
welcome,
welcome.
Anna. Mr. Elegantus, please, you can definitely ask your questions. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Elegantus. All right. If you're not ready, we'll go to Mr. Vincent. If you have questions, please, Mr. Vincent, you can definitely unmute and ask your question. Our producers, people in the chat room are asking the link to join the WhatsApp group. So if you can kindly continue to put the link to the WhatsApp chat room in the WhatsApp group in the chat, that would be great.
Okay, and also there's a link for the virtual farming where you get to fill the form and we take it from there. Yeah.
All right. Miss Rexford said, I think he wants more people to be interested in farming. So after the virtual, you will probably get your own farm. Yes,
exactly. Exactly. That's the idea.
Farming. All right. So if you missed today's program from the beginning till now, we will definitely post the link to watch the whole video after the show. Hello? Is someone talking? Nana,
Yes.
if you are not talking, please kindly mute your microphone for us, please. Mr. Vincent, your hand is up. You can go ahead and ask your question. If not, all right, Mr. Vincent is all set. Once again, my name is Obaya Ejewa. We definitely enjoyed this wisdom from our dear brother Samuel Adedakon. He is the consultant, the CEO of Cartis Agri Limited, as well as Asanka Premium Food Limited. He joined us today from Ghana. If you're interested in growing your farm, becoming a farmer, whether it's crop, whether it's chicken, or poultry, I should say, whether it's pig farming, whether it's crop farming, definitely reach out to him. Again, our WhatsApp group chat will be posted. The link will be posted in the chat. So if you want to join us after the show, Mr. Samuel is also part of that platform. But before we go, I want to say thank you. But then again, I would like to bring our directors on board to just give their last words for just a wonderful wisdom that we received today. So Director A-Class, I hand the mic over to you, please, and thank you.
For Damuna Asepa, Damuna Wasi, and also we say a big thank you to our dear brother Sammy for putting this together and making sure that everything has gone on very well, and the explanation you have provided us now. It was for motion and acting as Supemu, and said that one of the audience of more churches so a kind of what dream and obutaye this virtual farming and say by the time the person finishes, not on what I say a farmer. Yes, no, so woman you need angel. But so we are just on some you now for 2 again, one guy a general background only need big nature. Intina a brother Sammy a person who does like a crap tune. You see how it is, you feel it, then you become part of what you are doing and know where your money is. Then from there, at least a better crana, you also ultimate accessible to so you can am one couple. I made me ton and I said, Inkusho Omutu Bibi. Interested, okay, and there's the links in the chat room. One of the link in the back, a form now open if you are interested in the virtual farming. Click on that form. His contact details are also on the form there. Click on that form, fill it out, and I choose which package you want. Then at least from that point, he will contact you, and when he contact you, then the extension of it, He will give you a full contract. Please give it to a lawyer, study it yourself. The offers I want to say, contact him back. And at the end of the day, everything is fully back as he really said, for what you're interested, you can contact him and he will do you justice on that, TapTap, and we are here to bring in resource personals for them to come and teach. It's a OG2 said we are happy with it. Then you can go in with your contract with him, then you take it from that point. So, and there's a chat room link in the page, Friends of TapTap sent in a class. Pacho P and say Hawa, you can join that group. He's also on the page there as well. And if you have any question regarding to the discussion that has been made, I will humbly say you can ask him, or you can ask me on in the chat room there and also as well. And along the line, there'll be a chat, there'll be a link put in there for those who are interested to discuss topics and so as well, which is the HRE TV chat room. So you want to discuss topics for next week and the rest in the future now, that is where you can go and do the discussion. But anything relating to the personals and the resource guys, I don't know back. And also our person to say, you ask on the friends of TapTap send, and so. Yeah, the massive sorry, I mean, in shout, no question to supply. And oh yes, God richly bless you. We appreciate it. But it's not easy to get resource for 2 consecutive on a row like that. And in the time frame, so at the moment, about 12:36 or Ghana, and he has got a call with us. Last week, so the same thing. Really appreciate you, Pa. God bless you. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you once again. Therefore, just like our director A-Class said, if you have any questions regarding this topic that we've discussed today, Samuel is part of some of the platform. However, there is a link also in the chat that is mainly gearing towards show's idea. Maybe you have a topic of a show or something you want to learn on this platform. You can definitely, that platform is solely for discussion of topics for the show, solely for that. But if you also want to reach Mr. Samuel back end, you can also do so. He is part of our group chat. Again, Same, God bless you. We bless you so much. We hope for more production, more productivity for your company. We hope for growth. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule and joining us. God bless.
It's a great honor.
Thank you. And therefore, stay put. We will continue our topic with a time with TapTap Send. If you have any questions, concerns regarding TapTap Send, we'll stay on the platform for a few minutes so we can ask, or you can ask whatever questions pertaining to TapTap Send. So we thank you once again, Same. All right, let's take a short break and we'll be back with a time with TapTap Send, solely about TapTap Send.
TapTap Send. Oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos. The only boss. With oneness. Baby, I will be everywhere I day and everywhere they go. TapTap Send got me covered. If you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TapTap Send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TapTap Send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TapTap Send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, the other tell you I would channel, like my view, hey, you crazy.
Download TapTap Send now on Google Play and App Store. TapTap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
All right, this is a time with TapTap Send.